Is it true, brother? Are you really going to Africa? Yes, I actually do intend to go to Africa. I'm tired of this life. I don't know. Ever since our brother was robbed. He was robbed. That is true, but you shouldn't obsess over it. Just let me finish, please. You never let me finish. That's because I have more interesting things to say than you. Stop it. All right. What's on your mind? I want to travel the world. I feel like I have the bug in me to see things that no one's seen before, to be places that you only read about in stories. Have you been thinking about those foolish legends about our ancestry? They're not legends, it is the truth. You can't prove it's the truth. Nobody has even seen hide nor hair of that book in a very long time. But there are people in the lands past Hungary that claim to be of the same house as us. We have no idea whether or not they were there first, whether or not they are truly the descendants of some random wandering bard. You obsess over these things so much. Well, yes, I think about these things a lot. I want to know where we're from. I want to know if this is everything for us. When our people settled on the coast of the peninsula, was this their destiny, or was this just where they stopped? I'm just fascinated to learn about all the things that people have done. Go to great places, names I've only ever heard of. Do you know that there is a famous old university in Sankor in Africa? There are perfectly acceptable universities in Castile. Those universities were Muslim not that long ago, and I'm far more interested in learning what the Eastern scholars have to say about these things than the new Catholic professors that they've put in charge. No, I am going to Africa. Then I'm going to make a single request. Just one thing for the sake of the family. One last thing. Will you promise me? Fine. Whatever it is you want, as long as it doesn't require me to stay here, I will do it. Put aside your wife. That is a very large thing to ask. I know you don't love her. It was a political arrangement, and the political circumstances that validated it are long since gone. Now that William is no longer Count, we don't get along that well. But you need a son. There's very little chance that William is going to find a son, not with the way that the measles left him. He's still a very bright man, but he's growing old. If our line, our family, not the Cerneu family, not the Vardos dynasty, but our family, you, me, and our brother, are going to continue into the future, it needs to be you. You need a wife who can give you children. I will arrange to have her put into a monastery where she can be well taken care of. You won't just make her a nun and leave her to wander the world? I mean, once she takes up the cloth, I don't really have much control over what she does, do I? Fine. If you promise to look out for her and to make sure that she's taken care of wherever she ends up, I will put her aside for you. Good. Then off to the savage lands, I guess. They're not savages. Hello and welcome, connoisseurs of Crusader Kings 3, friends of the channel, and newcomers alike. We're here for the very first time in what is going to be effectively a brand new series. We're even going to change the titling of it, because even though we're playing the same dynasty, I like the idea of starting here and then maybe trying to do something we have never done before, which is go to the end date. So that could, I think, be interesting. Carrying the family all the way to the end date from 1066 and starting this fresh as what is effectively a new series from a very similar position to the road to Kiev. The road to Kiev is done. We've walked that road. We went all the way over here with Demetrius the Bard's family and finally founded a powerful kingdom of Ruthenia with King Vyacheslav the Stout. He and his very sound bloodline have established themselves as a dominant power here, and I think they have done enough. We are putting the first era of the Vardos dynasty behind us. In part, we are returning to our roots with the Valenciano section, the Cerneu, or I should say the new Cerneu, since as you know, we have a bit of a history. We're the Vardos Cerneu as opposed to the original Cerneu. The situation here is, I think, land-wise better than it was when we left it, and he does have a stronger army than he's ever had before too. He's competitive with Castile, which is really good for him. This is King Pierre, and more or less he is the direct descendant of Demetrius the Bard, the bastard son of Yaroslav the Wise. Demetrius the Bard traveled the world trying to find out what his purpose was and ended up in Barcelona, right here in Lidia and Tarragona. And his son, don't know who that is, that's the first name that's not related to us in any way. His son Wenhendon, that's Wenhendon himself. His male child from his Cerneu, original Cerneu, wife, Enogen, that is her second spouse, went on to form the Kingdom of Valencia and becoming, at the time, the strongest power in in Iberia, and reaching the point where they also held Corsica for a brief time. Sadly, well, most of that was done under Demetrius, his son. Sadly, Demetrius's son, King William, was unable to maintain relationships with his dukes, and they all did an independent faction, at least the ones that could. The only one that remained loyal was... where is he? He is the child of Demetrius's son Huphold, Hugh Joffre. Hugh Joffre remained loyal, and as did his brother, but the rest all went their own way. Lost Barcelona, lost the area they held here in the south, and lost the island of Corsica. But the kingdom has remained relatively stable and successful since then. That's those are his Rurikid siblings. Let's see. So if we travel down the line of King Wenhenden, we get Demetrius the Handsome, or Demetrius II, if you think of it from the family's perspective. Then we get William of Valencia, his son, Miro, and finally, King Per. And that brings us to the modern day in Valencia. Bernard Hugh. Bernard Hugh is a direct descendant of the line of the kings of Valencia. He has a claim, but they are not pressed. They're second generation claims. His father was the count here and brother to King Miro. King Per took that title for himself, leaving our small portion of the family completely unlanded. Bernard Hugh, a man, where is he? Down here, Bernard Hugh, well, he's the adventurer, so we can't click on the area to find him because he doesn't live there, is the second son of the deposed count. His older brother, another William, is blind and his sister is the very successful Queen Ulissa of Brittany, and she is his best friend and advisor. If you saw the intermission from the last series, we had a wife, but in the intro we were convinced by our sister that we should probably leave our wife behind because she's too old to give us a male heir, and we only have daughters. I should also point out that if you watch that intermission, you will have noticed that the name of the adventuring party was the Valenciano Vipers. I actually recorded that episode twice and saved twice, and they're the same because they came from the same screen, but because certain things are randomized every time you start a character, like the name of adventuring party, the Vipers changed to the Ducks, and I don't know what it is about this man, but I feel like he is more of a Ducks man than a Vipers man. It's just me. The Vipers implies some kind of like intrigue, but no, he likes to look at waterfowl on pools and ponds. You know, it reminds him of home. Might have even been his childhood nickname from his sister. So yes, his sister convinced him that if he's going to do his duty by the family, to make sure that the line continues because his brother is unmarried at 44 and that's unlikely to change, he needs to find himself a wife and produce a male heir. If he's not going to find somebody to beg some land off and settle down, and he insists on going on this scholarly journey to discover the roots of the family, he has to do that. You know, he has to do that himself. Right now, his goal is to study at university down here in Africa. In fact, he is going to go... It's got to be in here someplace. I'll just look. It's easier to just look, you know? We want to act like we have perfect knowledge, but we don't. So it's best to look, you know, change the map mode, actually look. So he's going to go to the University of Sankor, which I think he just become fascinated with it because he's fascinated with all of these different foreign lands. Most likely, he wants to eventually find out whether or not the truth of his family having been extremely successful in the land of its ancestry in Kiev. He wants to... Oh, geez, Kiev, it got so yellow. we may have pushed this development really fast, like really fast, like that bright yellow type fast. Like I mean, it's good. It's a good place. Right? It sticks out though. Really sticks out as the most developed place in an extraordinarily undeveloped region. Righto. He is a scholar by nature and by education, but he's a road scholar. He is a traveler. He's not interested in settling down. There's lots of the world he wants to see, and if he can do it in his life, he wants to eventually go here and read the book of Demetrius and see whether the rumors of his ancestry are true. At this time, it has been 4 generations since Demetrius the Bard. And that is enough time. No, it's been 6 generations almost. No, it's been 1, 2. There have been 2 kings after William, so it's been 5 generations. And those are not short generations, you know? We've been playing this game for, you can just look at that, by over 188 years, right? And in that 188 years, the family has had 5 kings after Demetrius. Those 5 kings, that's just Wen Hendon's line. That doesn't even include Yom's line. So yeah, he wants to figure out whether or not he can discover the truth of the legendary formation of the family. Because from his perspective, the stories of Demetrius the Bard being a wanderer, seeking his own truth, and then settling down in Iberia are almost reaching the point of legend, particularly since 2 generations ago, well, 3 actually. The book of Demetrius, the Great Record, was lost because it was stolen on the death of King Demetrius I, Demetrius II, in the family's reckoning. And according to rumors, it was taken away by some lesser family members who were worried about their loss of position because of a conflict with Hugh Joffre, whisked away to the heart of the family in Ruthenia. He would like to read that book and see if the things in it, if it really does document the lives of those first 2 kings. But he doesn't want to do it so much that he's going to just go over there. He wants to figure out what his roots are, try to discover where he can feel more at home. You know, the fact that his own uncle robbed him of his inheritance when he was still a boy kind of has soured him to the family. And although those things I'm discussing make up a general purpose, they're not a specific purpose. Because we've chosen to divorce our wife, we are now in the land of an adventurer. One of the things about an adventurer is you cannot just marry whoever you feel like. You gotta marry people you find, or the courtiers of people who you do service for, because if you get them to like you enough, they'll let you marry people in their house. It is very difficult to marry above that, but we do have the advantage that we are famous. One of the things that fascinated me with the idea of starting a second full series with a new line of the family is I would love to take this bastard founded dynasty to the end. But if we continue to play the standard CK3 play loop, I would get bored. I can only conquer so much before the entire map just looks like a board to conquer on. And then my empire gets too big, and then I can't focus on the interesting things like people's relationships or why people do what they do, and it gets away from me. So I think it was a good decision, even just for that reason, to move away from the strongest portion of the family. They are no longer the dynasty heads because, well, I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna. Yeah, I was gonna say. I think right now at least, he's stronger, but I also think that's because he has 2,000 men of mercenaries, and as soon as those 2,000 men of mercenaries go away, King Dimitri will become the head of the family again. Although, you know, for RP purposes, we're considering head of family to be a very abstract thing, since we don't really know this far away that much about them. They are far out of diplomatic range. Okay, so from a step 1 standpoint, though, getting down here and focusing in tight, we don't have money to go to university. We don't have resources to go to university, and I'm pretty sure our followers are our 2 children and our brother. Our 2 children and our blind brother. This is our entire camp. But there is one advantage to that, and that is that they are well aligned with our intent to be a scholar. Our brother isn't quite as learned as we are, but he's almost as learned as we are, right? He's very successful in his standard education, just like us, and he was more successful in his urban education, which is good. Our daughters, one of them was not raised someplace where she could trigger the urban education, and the other one didn't do that good. But even she's an okay scholar. Like, they'll support us well. Our eldest daughter is the actual problem. The reason why we had to get rid of our wife, and the reason why our sister so strongly suggested it, because she has had a child in a non-matrilineal marriage, which means that we have no proper heir of our house. It's not the best position to be in. Let's set our camp tight. A good camp purpose for us, in fact, the logical camp purposes for us are either explorers or scholars? Now, scholars makes more sense by our skills, and really all adventurers are explorers. So I think we're going to be scholars. I think that's where we're going to start. As for education, that's interesting too. We have completed 2 trees at the old age. 1 tree. What? No, he did that thing. Why did I think? Yeah, he did that thing where some event picked up the architect tree, even though he's not an architect. That's actually quite interesting. That can be useful. So let's take a look. He also event picked up scholar, which is something that happens to NPCs a lot more often than it happens to actual characters, is that they pick up these cap traits without actually doing the educations, which is super interesting because it means he has the scholar trait without any of the scholar benefits. But it also means it doesn't make any sense for us to go back down scholar or architect because, I mean, he's done it. I suppose we could go down the thing and just not click the final trait, or we could do something with the wandering lifestyle. In the last game, Vyacheslav started off as an inspector. I would like to make him a voyager. Voyager does seem pretty well aligned with what he wants to do. I haven't really looked at how good Voyager is for adventurer. That's provision capacity, provision use is very good, especially if you're making long journeys over dangerous territories. Private army, if for mercenary contracts, that's interesting. Then we get journey, which is the thing that allows us to do the monument expedition. We have been there, done that, which is point of interest rewards. This is probably, I think this is what we're going to do. Stress loss and prestige from points of interest. Provisions capacity, again. I think we're going to do Voyager. And I think we're going to do journey focused, because we are focused more on going to places, but not stopping in places, right? We're a traveler. We're boots on the road. We are, strangely enough, seeking the truth of our ancestor by literally living his lifestyle. Okay. Beyond that, we have no jobs available to us right now, and that is a bit of a problem. A lot of that's because this area is not really very developed. So I guess we might as well just get started. One of the problems we have is that we are in a religion that's hostile to us, and because we don't actually have the scholar tree, we only have the scholar trait, we don't have open-minded or apostate. So the people around here don't really like us that much, which is probably on its own a reason to get those traits, but most likely we can pick those up from travel points. Let's go into the town. We will visit the castle holding. Few places are as majestic as a castle, and Tenig is no exception. Wolfoff's troops and banners are visible everywhere in the city. Let's immediately go to the town crier and see if she can produce some jobs from us. Marshal, no. Collaborator, no. Scholarly work. So let's try to spawn some scholarly jobs. We don't need supplies because of course we're just starting, so we have all of our supplies. We will go to the tavern and see if there's anybody we can talk to here. So there is this woman who we could potentially ask to join us through the seduction options, i.e. we can hit on her and she'll join our party. We can offer her a drink and she'll join our party. She's not great, but more people is better. It's weird to find a Valenciano traveling out here in the middle of nowhere with us. So I think that reason alone is a good reason to have her join, and also more people means more marriages, and more marriages means better relations in the camp, or worse relations, depending on how lucky you get. Oh, our child has such a strange face. Like, very interesting to look at. It not like ugly, but just like unusual. She has a very unusual face. Let's see if there's anybody worth recruiting. We need to get people here at the start. A variety of different educational traits will be good for completing missions, but also super focus can be helpful as well. You know, we're looking at these people like we could possibly get them, and we're not even close with any of them. So ignore that. None of those people mattered. It's fine. We could also talk to the hooded figure. Usually they can also be recruited. But you know what? I think we're going to move on. I think we found some jobs by talking to the locals, and that's a good enough reason to go and spend some time in a castle. Plus, it's nice to visit the places we go to, right? We could solicit charity from this guy, you know? Christian strangers needing generous Muslim funds in order to continue their expedition to the nearby Sankor University. Well, the Sankor University, which is in the same large region. And transcribed texts. I mean, I think we're more inclined towards transcribed text. We are cynical though, so we wouldn't have a problem with begging. We're also like people, and we're fickle, so yeah. We'll do the transcribed texts first though. We don't have a caravan master. I didn't even set positions. I should have set positions at the start. So our brand new person, Constanza, could do it, or our daughter could do it. I feel like we're gonna get our daughter to do it. Now, Isiana, yes, father, what is it? I would like you to look to the provisions and organize the camp. I think I can do that, father. Why me? Well, I suppose I could have asked your sister, but Sancha's not very good at organization, and Constancia, I don't think she's been here long enough to put her in charge of something so important. Oh, so I'm just the one left over, am I? No, I didn't mean that. Oh, father. I was only kidding. You always take these things so seriously. I just didn't want to hurt your feelings, that's all. I picked you because you were the best choice, and then you asked me to... Yes, I know, father. You don't have to explain. Before we actually officially go on this journey, though, we should... This is going to be dangerous, but dangerous journeys are expected. This is uncontrolled territory, and then a desert. Only thing you can do about uncontrolled territory at this point is mercenary guards. And that makes it quite expensive. We do mercenary guards and explorers pack. Actually gives us a route. If we're going to bother to take the mercenary guards, we might as well make a proper route that avoids the dangerous territory, right? Hopefully we can make some money off this thing because we're spending more money than we're making at this point. We also need to spread our reputation too, and we're doing this for the thrill as much as anything else. What this teaches us, though, is that we take the danger over mercenaries because we are not that good. Every tongue is silent, so we begin to translate. If only I was more experienced in this topic. So I'm not very good at at intrigue, nor do I have the trait. Okay, so Manding is a language. I don't even know where this language is from. What is Manding? Is there even a way to see, like, languages? Is there like a map for languages? I am fascinated. I am so fascinated. Apparently we have picked up the local language because that is the language of like the cultures in this area. Not the Muslim cultures that have become dominant, but the older like territorial cultures. It's really interesting. It's really interesting that we actually chose to learn the language of the people instead of the language of the rulers. That tells us a little bit about ourselves, doesn't it? We're not really up here to spend that much time in the courts of the wealthy. We're trying to learn like the heart of the land. Okay, all right, we're learning. We're also going to take advantage of that to click this button. Okay, we can now gain 2 because of our above average stewardship, or we could try to get the 3 points. 71% chance to get 3 points, but 29% chance of getting nothing. I think we're just gonna stick with the basic with the basic success unless we can see something that's gonna really help us. Okay, 2 points there. Since we have a qualified success already, and we need to get a normal success, we have to get 7. I think we might as well just go for it. There we go. So we did good. I mean, we got a regular success. We made slightly more money than we spent to get here. That's something we're gonna have to think about in the future. You know, we're not that rich. Can't afford mercenaries to protect ourselves. That's wealthy son of a count thinking, not poor unlanded adventurer thinking. Long after most have gone to sleep at night, I still find myself seated by the campfire. What's wrong? Jusiana asks as she sits down next to me with a concerned expression. This is the person. This is my daughter. All right. Okay. It is weird that my daughters are in my camp, but their husbands aren't because they don't like me. It's minus 60. Also, we can't invite them because they're not related to us anyway, which is very weird, but how it works. So we're gonna have a heart-to-heart with our daughter, are we? What about you? This is interesting. Because this character is out of nowhere, these like moments will tell us about things that we didn't know about them. Apparently, my uncle Sanche was slain in battle by Osmond de Beaufort. Who's Osmond Beaufort? A dead man. He's a Norman Catholic, and my uncle Sanche was an unlanded knight, I'm guessing. Interesting. Actually, he was a prince because he is the son of course, because all of my uncles are the sons of King William, because I am the nephew of King William. So Sanche is my uncle, and he was a prince, and he died at the age of 38 in a battle with Osmond de Beaufort. It is interesting to think of what would have went differently. I wonder if we liked them. I wonder if we had a good relationship with him. Maybe we didn't. Maybe we were worried that he would have bullied us. I don't know. What about you? Yeah, let's ask her what's been on her mind, you know? It's really good that we're traveling with our daughters. It's strange that they're traveling without their husbands, but maybe they don't really care about them that much. There it is. King Dimitri is now once again head of the house because the mercenaries are gone, and we could solicit charity. I think we just might, you know, we're not above that after all. It's a bit dangerous. We can afford 4 gold, I think. So let's go. Let's see if this guy is willing to put some money into our coffers to be entertained by some foreigners from another land. I also think we should probably learn the language of the high as well as the language of the low. You know, it says our chances are poor. I don't know how they would be. This seems to not align appropriately right now, but it's not the only thing like that. A lot of times the battle numbers, especially after they rebalanced the power of advantage, don't seem to align properly, but that's okay. We can figure it out on our own, right? There's no cost to clicking it to see if it actually is poor. Asking for alms. Taking our way to see Neb's Wadas thankfully proves surprisingly easy, with just a hint of enticing mystery about our purpose to grease the wheels. Once granted audience, our purpose becomes clear fairly quickly. As learned scholars, we depend on the largesse of enlightened rulers to keep going and doing our good works. And so, Nab reluctantly agrees to let us stay for a time, but that's all for now. All right, remember we're here to learn, so this is success chance, this is speed. We're not in a rush. We're definitely not in a rush. So this is balanced. I don't know if we have enough people in our camp right now to bother with, yeah, we'll just do balanced. Now, when I'm doing an RP, I actually like to select these. Even if I end up just selecting what's best, I like to get in the pattern of knowing which people are doing what kind of jobs for me. Shill, you know, no good shills, outcast, footpad, gambler. Our older daughter can be a gabber. I mean, not gambler. I keep calling that gambler. Our brother makes a good cleric. I guess Constanza is best as an outcast because we want success chance most. And no, that's not our daughter. This is the new lady. And our daughter here is really not good at any of these jobs, at all. So that's fine. Our chance of succeeding here is not very good. So we may be sticking around for a while, unless he kicks us out. So we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully we can get some good events. Otherwise, we're going to be depending on, yeah, we're not very good at this one, so we're going to be depending, I think, on advantages to get a bit of a higher percent. Great lord, my name is Bernard Hugh of Valencia, and I come here because I have heard stories of your great generosity. Have you then? Well, what stories have you heard? That you were a man of learning, and that you were interested in other cultures, that you might be willing to board myself and my assistants so that we can continue our research work into the history of the region. Ah, yes. You are Cerneu, aren't you? Yes, we are Cerneu. That is my house. How do you know? My family once fought your family 3 generations ago in the southern part of the Iberian Peninsula. I didn't know. Oh, there's nothing to worry about. We are both men of history, and I imagine that you can find great things about those days if you were to read the scrolls written by the men of the Houses of Learning. Oh, yes, I would. Good. As a man of learning, you are welcome to stay here for a time. I cannot support you forever because I do not need any more permanent scholars. But a season, 6 months, that could be arranged. Thank you, that's extremely gracious. Learn language peasant prattle. So this guy is talking to us and we could have him join us. He would join our camp. We want him to because we're gregarious. He's literally our daughter's missing husband. Yeah, so get him to join the camp because that helps fix that problem. If that her husband is just someplace in the middle of nowhere, well, he's not anymore. Now he's in the camp. He's terrible, so he's not going to be that helpful, but we might as well stick him in here anyway, right? He is awful. We do not want our daughter's husband serving as a knight to his death, so let's just forbid that. We'll just go without. We have 0 capable knights. That's fine. We don't need him. We do need him, but I guess we're going to have to figure it out, right? We're going to have to figure it out. When we are in places that we can visit, we will, we'll try to take everybody we can who's relatively inexpensive. We might be able to find people on the road too, right? Distant shores. Why can't a man be both? Whoever I am about to be, he will be wonderful. I'm not adopting the culture. We're not preparing an invasion. No, even though literally every single one of these stresses us out, the one that stresses us out the least is the one where we try to be both. And we get some cultural acceptance. So we'll do that. We should visit the capital of this, well, right? This is the tiny remainder of an empire, right? Like this is like the definition. So this here is the capital of this empire, the Almoravid, and they seem to be in this region mostly in competition with the Maghreb. Maghreb is just a kingdom though. The de jure territory of that empire, it's gone. There is no de jure territory for them anymore. Oh no, wait, no. Yeah, actually these are kingdom titles. I don't know why I thought that was an empire. So we are currently in the territory of the Almoravid Kingdom, or should I say Grand Emirate. Controls all of this stuff down here. This is their ruler. They also have this kingdom title here, Anbiya. Like I said before, this entire territory is ruled by Muslim lords. Lay of the land. None of my camp are intimately familiar with the terrain in Donkey, and such lands are not to be traveled with. It is for this reason that I find myself standing in front of a local guide. We've seen this guy before. This guy was the guy who was in the camp, and we couldn't afford. Could use a man like you around the camp. Ooh, he's lowered his price. He would become caravan master. So he'd be a terrible caravan master, but we could get him to join us and then take him off the job. It will upset our current caravan master, but she's our daughter and she'll get over it because we're gonna immediately make her the caravan master because she's just better. We're just gonna upset him, but that's fine. Sometimes we have to resolve difficulties, right? Sometimes we have to resolve difficulties. Oh, she's actually better. You do it. We're gonna have to resolve all these difficulties with people. This is the worst. Okay, so you would be an okay court physician. For second, you'd make a good second. We don't need a stooge. You'd also make an excellent bodyguard. I think that feels good. Once we're finished the language, we'll also sway him. We'll try to get the relationships up with the people in our party because we barely know these people, right? This is like the beginning of something. I do wonder if we should marry him to the woman that we found in the same town. She certainly won't make a good wife for us. Getting to the point where we can get somebody who is a good wife for us might be a bit of a trick. I also find myself wondering if maybe I should have done learning just to get open-minded. I mean, we'll get open-minded pretty easily, right? I feel like they changed the name of something and it's causing me to not be able to find it anymore. Strength and diversity. Yes. This is apostate usually, the one that gives you different faith opinion. But when you're a traveler, it also gives you attributes for all the different unique faiths that are in your camp, which is pretty good. So we've hit cap on this. It actually like diminished in quality of success. We're gonna have to let this run for a while, but we're fine, right? We're not pushing our welcome. Plus, we have to hang out around here in order to learn this language. Ugh, my head, moans Usana as she rides alongside me. Oh, she's been drinking. Slow down for her. We laugh at her, make her situation worse. No. We can slow down for her. It's fine. Hungover for 3 months is a very, very strong penalty. You know, like how much did she drink? And this is not a stable region. There's a lot of war going on around us, but that's okay because we are on a journey. And men on journeys don't worry about little things like having to avoid military engagements. We can make a request of this guy. Let's do it. Got to keep the coffers full, or more important than that, we got to build stuff we can use. As a scholar, I think Barber's Tent probably first. Camp Perimeter is also very good, but I really feel like Barber's Tent, some of these are good. We do have to be able to survive our travels though, and baggage train is good for that, and so is Camp Perimeter. We don't have any guards yet, so though it doesn't make any sense for us to try to establish a perimeter with literally 0 guards. No, we're gonna take the Barber's Tent. I think that makes a lot more sense. Maybe we can begin selling our services as a roaming physician on the road. Ooh, level of splendor has increased. They're now glorious. Ruin rambling, scouting ahead. Okay, so we can look into the ruins, see if there's anything interesting, or we can stay safe and get some provisions. I mean, we're staying still, so we don't really need provisions. No, we'll look in the ruins. Ooh, we found a small trinket. It's a small health boost and a +1 learning. Nice. Family that stays together. It's a little odd for my brother and friend William and I to be brought together over this contract to solicit charity. Still, there's joy to be found in a common task. There is joy to be found in a common task, absolutely. And we could definitely use those 2 advantages. We could click this now, but that would fail. And we need to succeed, right? This guy needs to give us some money. Come on, man. You get it. How hard it is to live as a wanderer? You don't, do you? All these sedentary people with their ideas about how the world is supposed to work. And we're out here with our literally one military because we have one knight. But he's good, right? It's good. Depends the camp very well, I assume. Okay, we have now a barber's tent. Arguing the toss. All opinions have opinions, will argue. A simple truism for any gathering of more than 2 people of a scholarly bent. And there's decidedly more than 2 such people in the Valenciano Ducks. This fine evening, there are 2 overlapping and rather loud discussions going on. One of rhetoric and fine politics with Usana, and one of history and philosophical wisdom with William. Well, William seems interesting, but I think we're going to go with our daughter this time. Oh, nice! We won the debate. Or at very least, we stood our ground. So for the first building in the barber's tent, we probably should get, as soon as we can afford it. I mean, I would like to get reference corpus. There's nothing wrong with that. Does imply we should be on the learning lifestyle, though, again. I mean, the whole thing is going to imply that. And we can get back to it later. I mean, we're not young, but we're also not super old. 43, we got a lot of time. Travails of a cook. So the cook is complaining that we don't have enough provisions. But we do have enough provisions. He just wants better provisions. Wait, stern on provisions. Now let's see what we can find. Nice, found some extra provisions. Well, I don't like the complaining. You know, I don't like the complaining. It is nice to get things done, right? What are we gonna do after the barber's tent? We do the mess tent. I kinda like it. Won't be long before we can afford it. Baggage train is also really good, has lots of different selections in it. Oh, learning on the job. One of those I've chosen to involve in this little contract, Sancha, is probably not the absolute most skilled. Still, she's clearly applying herself and determined. You can go further than this, so I can stress her out asking her for more. That will increase her learning, but also give her critical stress, and she'll learn some opinion. I mean, she just literally got a great success here, so I could take the credit, or I could just be neutral and say the plan goes well. 20 days of progress. Let's just take the days of progress. I do appreciate the work that she's been doing, and it's good to see that she's expanding her mind, you know? Means to an end, I sit by my pavilion, letting the sound and smells of camp wash over me. It's different from a life within the safe walls of a palace. Yeah, we lived with our sister for many years, you know, because we had no place of our own, and she had an excellent household in Brittany. The freedom is easy to enjoy. No obligations, no counselors yapping, and no dignitaries to entertain. None of the downsides of the trappings of power, yet these freedoms are dearly purchased. The constant scraping for survival wears thin. Increasingly, every night I yearn for a proper bed. Must claim some lands in the future. I quite enjoy this life. I do quite enjoy this life. So we are now a traveler. Very useful, especially since it helps our wandering education. Good. Even though the chance is so terrible, we could just go for this on 10. Learning language success. I feel accomplished. All right. Let me see. I was going to go to you, and I was going to try to smooth things over with you. We can start with another language learn. I think that would be interesting. We're a bit into that. Oh, somebody's got measles. Is there measles? Damn it, there's measles. Okay. Once this goes through, we're leaving even if we don't succeed. I'd rather fail and get out of this measles area than stay here and have things get worse. They both have measles. Choice is up to her how she gets treated. Dang it. Dang it! What a way to begin our journey! Well, I mean, clearly this is not the beginning of his journey because he's been here for at least a little while. Organize camp first, I think. Mercenary contracts isn't bad, but actually, that's not bad. Let's do it. Let's make our travels a little safer. Oh, yeah, like most camp followers, he now just got a nickname that's literally just what he is. That happens a lot in the camp. A lot of people just get the nickname of, this is what you are. No. We have no warriors, so we are not joining that. We're just gonna execute the scheme. It's fine. We fail, we fail. Ah, but we didn't. He came through. What a man you are. What a man you are. You know, you must have really appreciated our scholarly bent. Thank you so much. And now we want to move the heck out of this plague zone. I was intending to stay longer, Wali, but yes, the plague has come, and I have heard that some people in your entourage have gotten ill. They have, and it's tragic, but we must move on. Well, no, it's actually been good to have you here. You are a fine man, and I am glad to have met in peace a man who my ancestors would have considered an enemy. That is an excellent sentiment. And because of my excellent sentiment, I have also decided to help to pay for your travel, so that you can get away from the plague zone and find safety elsewhere. Because, to be frank, my physician does not have the resources to take care of your followers. Understood and appreciated. We were intending to leave anyway for a very similar pragmatic reason, in that we do not want to stay where the plague is and would rather go someplace where it isn't. Then we are agreed, and somehow no offense has been taken by anyone. It doesn't seem to be expanding much past the coast, so we could probably just move like to the capital here? Yeah, let's do that. Right there. That's weird. Here we go. We are moving through disease territory, so we probably should take private army. My personal physician is not eligible for travel, so we cannot take provisions. I guess we have to pay for the mercenaries. I guess we have no choice. And we go around the disease, right? We customize our route like this. It's dangerous in a different way. Oh, we didn't click the right spot, so we're gonna have to cancel this anyway, because we're actually trying to move to the capital. Okay. And then we will customize our route there, get out of the plague zone. Of course, for all we know, the plague is going to follow the river delta. Snapped twig. It's finally a temperate time to wander the orchards of Dagana, and I grab the opportunity to do so. Dormant yet still green, the trees wait for warmer seasons. Suddenly a high-pitched shriek pierces the air. Oh, this child has broken their limb. They have fallen out of a tree. I can soothe the child, because I don't think that I'm the kind of person who would just like leave a child in pain on the ground. It doesn't feel like me. My daughter has gotten better. Night by the campfire. Long after night has settled, I find myself laughing and telling stories and drinking with William, Uzana, and Sancha. I didn't know he had it in him, but William ends up telling a particularly ribald story about 4 peasants he had seen in Kubel. After drying my eyes from laughter and drinking a bit to clear my throat, I will tell a story of my own. I think we'll tell a story of our own. So we are now in the capital of Amravid. We have jobs available, but they'll take us back into the plague zone. So let's, well, we could move on. We could also see if there's anything to be done in town. That's always possible, right? Got plenty of provisions for now. Let's go see the town crier. And what for lucrative opportunities? No, nothing really. Okay, then we could go and see if there's anybody interesting here. Oh, another seducible young woman. Well, she's got pretty good traits and she's tough, but she's too old for a marriage candidate. That being said, that doesn't mean we won't share a drink with her and invite her to the camp. Good. The recruitments are probably too high at this point because of inflation. Yep. So we need to make some money and fast. Maybe that means that we don't stay here. Maybe we move on. Fire and friends. Each night, one fire becomes the hub of the camp's social activity, people coalescing around my inner circle to wag tongues and trade friendly barbs. Tonight is no exception. Look, all I'm saying, chortles Saka to the giggling of several other followers, is poor Constantia can't be blamed for her poor marching pace. Must be hard with that stick rammed straight up her arse. Ooh. A chorus of inebriated guffaws breaks out from the easily pleased onlookers, though it seems to be wearing on Constantia. Okay, well, we could tell a joke of our own. I think we'll tell a joke of our own. We, of course, we're the life of a party. Look at us. We are amazing. The only thing wrong with us is we're a little short. But that's not even a wrong. That's like the thing. The only thing. Oh, it looks like it's actually faded. That's good, because we can try some of these jobs. Let's do... I'm actually good at stewardship and diplomacy, so let's try this settle boundary disputes. Those are almost always good news. We need this? We do. We still need the explorer's pack. Let us customize our route, and there. We'll accept the contract and have a go at it. Our cousin has been taken prisoner. It is Prince Albert of Germany. We have cousins in all the big places, you know? It's just how it works when your family is this important, right? We're absolutely glorious. I am very much looking forward to when the family becomes... Wait, no. We're famous. Moving towards glorious. And then moving on to fabled. Then legendary. Well, I think I can resolve this, I should say, with my stewardship. I could get our man to do it. or we could take the stress for it. I think it's not that high a chance. This is the thing. I think we take the stress. We are going to have to find some way to... Oh, we did recently stress out. Never mind. I thought our stress was much worse. We're actually doing quite well with all these camp events, making us the life of the party. It's getting us into a position where I think everybody really kind of likes us. He's having new problems right away. What is this? Perform in a play. Perform in a play provides no money. We are not men of plays. We could hobnob with a ruler. That has a chance to produce money. Empty crates. I gaze down sadly at my meal. A barely ripe apple stands out as the most appealing of the fare. There's no shortage of food at the camp, but the variety is lacking. Wilting vegetables we have plenty, but I could really do with some prime meat. We do not poach. Or do we poach? I mean, he's bad at it. The thing is, he's blind, right? He's not a poacher. Yeah, man. You're not a good hunter. Oh, he brought back some berries. Good. That is much safer than sending my blind brother out to do poaching. Yeah, I feel better about that. Let's quickly travel down here and do this hobnob with a ruler. Of course, it's our old friend. Dearest sister, your assessment of these people was as wrong as I thought it. These are not barbarians. They're extremely civilized. Yes, they don't live in as many stone structures as we do, but our stone structures are to overcome the constant wars, and the way they war down here seems to differ. But they fight just as much. There's a different feeling to it, especially the fights between the clans. Family against family. They greatly respect the relationships and bonds of society between each other. Calling them savages was certainly a misnomer. No, they are as civilized as we are in the north, just in a different way. I am so glad that I spent some time here. I had a very good time in the court of a wali, something of a chief or a count, and I think I've heard rumors that he may be looking for more work. I will visit him again, especially now that the plague has passed. Maybe he'll be just as generous this time as he was last time. The Wandering Knight. So this is a Wandering Knight. I could get him to serve me. He is a bargain. We got to take everybody worthwhile that we can, right? Like, it's kind of like the rule. We have an open door policy until the situation changes such that we can be more picky. We need people. Look, we now have 2 qualified knights. Two. A total of 2 qualified knights. That makes up our entire knightly entourage. So, okay, it's 2 diplomats. Saka can be the shill. Okay, which means William is going to be a diplomat, as can Constantia. And then the new lady can be a bodyguard. And finally, our brand new knight can be the herald. That's great. This is going to be great. He's going to give us even more of his money. The corridors of power. The food at Nayab Wata of Donkey's residence in Donkey is excellent, of course, a far cry from the usual rough and ready fare that I'm so used to. I am very glad you could answer my summons, Wata says, gesturing in my direction. I'd like to see if there's anything we can do to help one another. After all, there are certain times that a man of my stature can't quite get as down in the muck as certain jobs require. Yeah, I'll take the gold. I mean, if he's gonna ask us for a favor, right? I mean, sometimes it feels like I know it feels weird that those events sometimes give you a hook without giving you a way out, but the thing is, he's already doing you a favor by letting you stay here at all, and I think that's what that's supposed to represent, right? Like, because you're just sort of like hanging out here, hoping that he's generous and gives you free money, so him asking for favors makes a little sense, really. Him expecting favors, I should say. Okay, better to milk the goat than kill it. So we could ask him for a ton of money, and we actually have a pretty good chance of succeeding, but if we fail, everything goes bad, right? I mean, we're not greedy, but we are brave, and we do need money. And he was nice to us before. Let's do it. We got the donation out of him. That's some money for us right there. That is what a brave scholar looks like. You go right up to that man and you ask him for money that you need. That means that we can improve the camp, which is always a good idea. I think we're gonna go mess tent. I'm kind of hoping that we get the event that upgrades the pavilion once for cheap. Your cook is excellent, sir. I am always happy to spend time in your household. Thank you. And you are, as always, an enlightening man to be around. My scholars say that you have extraordinarily interesting insights into what it is like to live in the northern lands. Many of them think that they were wrong in declaring all north of the Great Sea to be barbarians. Interesting. Funny story. My sister said nearly the exact same about the people that I would meet down here. We never know what we're going to find until we look. Yes, and I am glad that you find the food excellent. Do you find your own cook to not be very high quality? Well, I have been unable to set up a proper structure for a cook. We would need a specialized tent and equipment, and it's expensive. I see. Well, you know, one of my cooks is a young apprentice, and I might just be able to give you the money you need to build that tent. But you never do know, right? You never do know. Now, I wonder if there's anybody interesting in his court. He has a niece. The answer is no. There is literally nobody interesting in his court. So no. No one to marry here. We could, though. Yeah, no. Let's just wait till the tent is in. Crimes of passion. Rounding a little cluster of tents. All right, so my brother is attacking this guy. My second and knight. I'm going to intervene because this is bad. Oh, good. I was really worried that was not going to go our way. Our blind brother fighting one of the two men in our camp that can actually fight seems like something that we really, really don't want to have happen. Even if the event makes it unlikely that he gets hurt, it still doesn't seem like something we would want, right? Like, he forgets he's blind a lot. He wanted to go hunting. I wonder if we can look at his memory and see... Yeah, he's blind from the measles, for sure. His father became a sinner. Oh, he didn't steal it. Our father died. No, that would have made it... No, he must have had it taken from him. Doesn't make any sense, because one of us would have inherited it, right? Yeah. My Uncle Sanch was slain in battle. Oh, he took it from him. It wasn't my father he took it from. He took it from him. That makes everything make more sense. Our father died from self-inflicted wounds, and then our brother was robbed. That's just about as bad, really. It's not very, very much different from what we originally thought. A dab hand. Impressing Naib Watas feels like a full season's work. Yeah, it's probably going to be more than a season. Despite being hardly the world's greatest noble, he's okay, though. He's been good to us. To be fair, I mean, give the man some credit. He paid us well the last job, and we thought we were going to fub it, and he just gave us 112 gold, right? Like, he's literally funding our expedition. This guy is absolutely and utterly amused with us and truly believes that we are the scholars we claim to be, even if we're not yet there. He really wants to see us go and succeed at our goal of a university trip, even though that's absurdly expensive. In situations like these, the safest thing to do is to fall back on what I'm best at, picking something I do well and let my skills shine. Well, it would be good to impress him. And, of course, it'll always be our knowledge that we impress with, so we'll say some fancy things, and he will be impressed. That's good, right? Starving soldiers. We have this guy. He's starving because he's been abandoned by the wars he's been in. He's also old and not very good at soldiering anymore. The thing is, I can't invite someone to my camp as a knight who's this bad, so we'll feed him, but then he'll have to move on. And I don't mean bad in his other traits. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense that a guy trying to become our knight with a one prowess would pass any kind of scrutiny test. Oh, we are still quite a long ways off of success here. But I think it's going to be like 6 or 7 when it goes through. We look at our pile of money and think about what we're going to do. I still probably should also ask him for a favor, to be fair. Just don't know what kind of favor I should ask him, right? There's no one to marry. We already checked. We do men-at-arms regiment. We will need some soldiers to make our roads safer. We don't need any provisions, and he doesn't have gold to give. So we'll think about this. There's aches and pains right there. There it is. So let's just, normally this costs 180, and we're getting it for 100. That's absolutely worth it. My poor back demands more luxurious furnishings. Yes, we will improve the pavilion. Nice. I think that's a good expenditure of our money. Oh, somebody has released our cousin. I don't know which cousin they're talking about and which one was the prisoner and which one was the imprisoned, but it's fine. We don't need to know how they get on, right? That's not our goal. Our goal is to impress this extraordinarily important man, Naib Watas, Ibn Uzmir, right? Have a little smoke, you know? Watch him as he gives all of his money away, hopefully mostly to us, you know? Yeah, it's good. Maybe he's a little into us. We're not really that way ourselves, but you know, we're a cynical and worldly man. We can let that kind of stuff pass if it helps our host to like us better. 5 contracts available in the area. We have a boundary dispute. We don't do perform a play, and we have a boundary dispute. So there's some money in this situation. Then support a faction way over there, but we have literally no no soldiers, so that's not a thing. I feel accomplished. So we have learned another language. Awesome. There's really no point in trying to trying to sway him anymore. Should we learn, like, are there any other languages around here to learn? What about where we're going? No, not really. The other thing we could do is we could study the language of our intended oh yeah, we're too far away. Friendly clamor. It's tough to describe what's so appealingly intimate about the low buzz of a camp settling in for the evening. Maybe it's the comforting scratch of quills in nightly journals, enthusiasm that comes with camping under an open sky, or even the laughing and joking with some of the lesser followers. All of this forms a quiet, comforting blanket of familiarity. This is my domain, and these are my people, a small kingdom, but one where I know every night, every sight, sound, and soul. Can retire to my own tent, perhaps a shave and a haircut. Looking immaculate. Ooh, attraction opinion. Get my best meal before the mess is swamped. Let's do that. I think the courtier opinion is more important than a lady's opinion right now. We shall see. That gives us organized camp, so we're almost at journey already. I don't know, once we get journey, where's our first journey going to be to? You know, probably the university itself, and we can scope the place out, right? So the king has died. This boy is now the king. We have Miniadana, his sister. Then we have Eminerda, his other sister. Hopefully the kid can hold things together. I could probably pull this off now, but we might as well let the one that's running finish through. That should give us over 90%, which, I mean, at this point, I'm literally unsure. Oh, there, it's all ready. Let's execute the scheme. Seize the moment. My hook has been placed with excelled at contract hook. Awesome. We have done such a great job, this guy. You're going to remember us forever. I am going to write about you in my manuscript that I just decided right now that I'm writing at this little moment. Look at how great I did. I am a hero. Oh, look at his face. I don't know what it is about this guy, but he just he's got a lot to me. Like I got a lot of the like heart of Demetrius the First in him, where he's like very unique and interesting guy. So he's going to pay us, which is good because we need the money. So finally on your way, my friend. Yes, Wally, it is time for me to go. I must continue with my journey, although this has been very enlightening, and I am so glad that I spent time with you. Yes, it's been almost a year. It almost feels like you're a part of the court. If I knew for certain that I could maintain you at the level that you're accustomed to, I would offer that you stay. Yes, but I can't. You know, the road calls. I must move on. If you would like, though, we can remain in correspondence. I can be difficult to find on the road, but if anyone can do it, it is my sister. And if you were to send a letter through her to me in Brittany, I am certain that she would find a way to forward it to me. I've received her letters when she's wanted me to. Oh, that's excellent. We can remain in correspondence then. And I have a gift. Since you have been here, many of the young warriors that have been training have become fascinated with the idea of traveling the world as an adventurer. And wanderlust is not a good trait in a stationed warrior, you know. I can see how that would be, yes. So I have given them all horse and gear, and I am giving them to you as a gift. A man who intends to travel a dangerous world needs a troop of men to protect him, and I can think of no better way to celebrate our long and positive exchange than to give you what I can to protect you on the road. That, my friend, is an extraordinarily generous gift, and, well, I have no words other than thank you with which to show my appreciation. And I think with that, we're going to bring this first episode to an end. I've got a good idea of who my man is now. You know, what's up? I think we're gonna use our hook to get a men-at-arms unit from him, just because we might as well use it, right? Oh, we got these like cool regional horsemen. Let's look at those before we end the episode, which is what I've been trying to do for the last 2 minutes. All right, so these riders have honed their skills during a lifetime in close connection with the desert and cover their faces with Lithum Veil, protecting them from sand and from recognition by enemies. Ooh, cool. Well, I mean, yeah, these guys are going to come with us everywhere. How is it that we can have 11? Oh, it's because of the era. Yeah, it's definitely because of the era. Our culture is late medieval, and like we're solidly late medieval. I don't usually play this long. It's very, very rare, you know, that I play into the late medieval era. We've actually almost finished all of high medieval. It gives us room to make an enormous unit of troops, which we will definitely do over time. But with that, I think we're going to bring this episode to an end. All right, it is the week of Christmas, so we are going to have a condensed schedule this week. We are going to be missing the main series episode that would have fallen on Christmas Day, because Christmas is a Wednesday. Yep, so that's not going to happen. Tomorrow, we're going to squeeze out a Distant Worlds 2 episode just so that one gets done, and then on Friday, we're going to do a Stellaris episode and a main series episode. That way I can get all the work for the week done, only working a couple hours on Christmas Eve and the day after Christmas, because I've got a lot to do. And then once we get into January, we will have a normal schedule. I just put episodes out normally on January 1st and stuff like that. So just those 3 days, you won't, well, 2 of those days you'll see nothing, and tomorrow we're gonna slide out like a really quick Distant Worlds episode that I already have recorded, and those are quick to edit. So condensed schedule this week, but I think that's reasonable since it's Christmas. All right, thank you for watching. I'm getting a real sense of who he is as an adventurer. He just wants to seek the secrets of the world and go to places that he's only heard about in books and learn about the history of his family. He's just got that bug in him, you know, it's who he is. He is generally a sweet guy, but he can make unexpected decisions that may not make sense to others sometimes. And also, he's not really into religion. I think I suggested this at the end of last episode, but he's only really into religion as a concept, something to be studied, something cultural that he can look at. I think he has a sort of like agnostic faith, like he believes that there is a God, but he doesn't prefer any of the ways that different cultures represent God. I think that's his cynicism right there. He's perfectly willing to go to a Catholic church and worship God because he thinks that's just as good as anything else, but he's not going to fight with anybody about it. It's not true. He's both brave and gregarious. He absolutely will fight with people who tell him he's wrong. All right, thank you for watching, and hope you join us next time when we get really into, I think, who Bernat Hugh is and where we're going to take the Valenciano Ducks. Because I have a lot planned. But for us to really get underway, we have to start getting people into start getting followers and building relationships with them. All right, I'll see you in the future. Goodbye for now.